Well, one of the first things I noticed about you was the fact that you were a police officer before you were a coach. Why did you choose to be a police officer when your playing days were over?
Growing up, my dad was in the career Air Force, 30 years, retired. And I used to watch TV, and behind the president at the podium was a guy in the suit with the earpiece in his ear. And one particular day, the guy moved, and in the background you saw his coat open up, and there was a huge machine gun hanging out of his coat. And I said, I don't know what he does, but it looks legal, and that's what I want to do.
What made you change course and get back into coaching?
One day, partner and I were trying to stop a young group of individuals that had robbed a store and approached the car. The car tried to run over us, and the driver pulled the gun out and pulled the trigger on a gun pointed at my face. And it didn't go off, thank God.
Do you ever play that back in your mind? Does it ever haunt you? Do you have bad dreams?
You realize that the gun was pulled on you, and that by the grace of God, you're standing here. I'm sitting here now talking to you. That event just caused you to be kind of reflective a little bit, be thankful for the opportunities to still be walking on this earth, for the opportunities to still be a father and a husband.
When just thinking about your players, you have that kind of life experience. The other thing I noticed about you is you got married really young. I mean, you were still in school, you were a football player, married with a kid. Does that experience help now?
Absolutely. There are players that have, children, players that are young, married couples. Sometimes, the young people take things for granted, but when you got to work for things, or when I can relay things like that to them, then there's an appreciation of, yeah, I see what you mean, Coach. Because Pampers, student athletes, they just don't mix a little bit there. You gotta make sure you're doing what you need to do to also provide for your family, let alone be a student athlete.
So you have 7 kids, but one in particular that I found out about is Tyson. Talk to me about your experience with her.
Kind of a near-death experience with her, and she was stricken with or diagnosed with a disease called Fanconi anemia, which is your body's inability to produce white blood cells to fight off infections. And the only cure for it was through a bone marrow transplant. And so we joined the National Bone Marrow Registries. We tested everybody we could, immediate families and all that. Couldn't find a match. And then kind of a last-ditch effort to the doctors, Johns Hopkins Hospital. They said, we're going to try you. They tested me, and lo and behold, I was a match. The doctors prior to the procedure said, it's a 10,000 to 1 odds that a parent could be a match. Immediately just her blood count started to rise, and she started to get better and better.
How is she doing now?
She's, getting ready for a dance this Thursday, and I told her that, I was going to be a fly on the wall. I volunteered to be a chaperone, make sure all the slow songs start. I'll come in there, hey, there you go.
Get your old police days back.
That's right, I might have to. I know all those secret moves and everything. I might have to put on them just to see her, just to see her blossom. It's like I said, every once in a while I get a little emotional about it because, saving her life and being used as an instrument, from the man upstairs, then why wouldn't I be passionate with other people's children?
Well, you mentioned that, your past. Another part of your past, I'm going to give you 3 numbers. 757. I mean, what do those numbers mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's an area code that I grew up in for sure. It's my dad retired, down in the Hampton area. We have to reinvest, reinvigorate a fan base, coaches down there that Virginia is very interested in making sure we do everything we can, down there in 757. Not only that, 804, 540, 703, all those area codes, they're very, very important to us also.
Coach Groh leaving, especially the way things happened for him here. I know that you guys had a good relationship. How difficult was it for you to leave your alma mater, Richmond, and then coming here after what happened with Coach Groh?
Yeah, that was tough. Tough leaving my alma mater. Won a national championship, won a conference championship, and then just the way things happened. It happened so quickly that to this day I haven't had a chance to talk to Coach, and it's bittersweet because I started here with Coach, made me a position coach, camp director, recruiting coordinator, and then later on the defensive coordinator. So I owe a lot to him. I have nothing negative to say about Coach. He's a good man. I do things differently, and that's the personalities and things like that, and so that's what I'm looking forward now is putting my own stamp of things about the way we play, where we dress, what we do on and off the field, behaviors, and all those things like that.